You're my morning star, shining brightly beside me. This is so funny because the dog is like banging her tail to the beat of the song. Anyway, this is Shanti with brown sugar talks on the black unicorn. Me like a charms. I am here today to talk about Levar Burton. So don't get me wrong, like it's like I do like Dave Chappelle. Okay, like not like him, but like some people make me cry. So I won't do a show until, but I end up crying anyway. So it's like, just do the damn show. But some people do. Like some people, it's just like I will sit here and be like, oh my God, like you have influenced me so much. Y'all don't even know. Like, okay, I grew up in the house with my grandmother. My grandmother was the first person that I saw read. And you never know what's going on in your life. Like, you never know what kid is watching you or looking at how great you are, thinking that you awesome. Like, you could be a quiet person and you could be thinking, I'm such an introvert that these people that are looking hate me. But they could love that about you because you have a certain composure about you. You could be overexcitable, but they love that about you because you can change any bad situation into a good situation. You can be a person that adapts to all rooms. And that's because you are that person to bring something together. So it's always something there for you. You understand? So it's like every person is important. Everybody is important. Because if I tell you some of the people that influence me, you'll be like, oh my God, this crazy bitch. But I'm serious. Like, it's just like some people do because they had that lasting effect. So anyway, I grew up in a house with a newspaper. My grandmother would always read the newspaper. And when I got in trouble, I would have to read the Bible. To my grandmother, Revelations, okay? So I always say, I think some of my art mind came from there because I used to imagine the locusts and like the fire and like the devil coming out of the ground and all this. And I don't think anybody has put it into video or visualization as far as I've seen it. Because sometimes you would see something adapted, like a book adapted to what you would think it would be like. And nobody has hit this mark for me yet. Because I want the locusts to look like fucking like I want them to be like, ugh, like, and we got the graphics now, like that motherfucker coming through your room or something. Ugh, oh my God, just to think, or some mucus or some shit, not to eat you or whatever, just, oh my God, the locust. So, anyway, my grandmother every day would read the newspaper, every day like clockwork, and I would get the other part of the newspaper, because in the morning we would have our breakfast, coffee, and breakfast, and the table set, and all this different stuff, right? Clean ass house, and she made like most of the stuff in the house, like all the dishes and stuff like that. So a lot of my creativity comes from her too. So I get to the point, but I never saw her. I just saw her decorate. I didn't see her actually making stuff. I went to, maybe I have, I think I did when I went to my godmother's house. She had like a studio in her basement, and she would do slip casting or whatever. So I think I've done a piece or two. I've done that with her. But anyway, I was like so into PBS. Like, you could not stop me. Let me be able to stay at home. I'm watching PBS because Scooby-Doo was like the same fucking shit over and over again. Because by that time, like, if you have to stay home from school, when Scooby-Doo come on, it just be like, man, all they do is change the characters. It's the same storyline. Like, this person that got the job to do, whoever got a job to do Scooby-Doo, they had an easy ass job. Like, they can come in and do that shit probably in like 4 fucking hours, because it was like the most set up animation ever. And I was so bored with the same thing with Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny used to get on my fucking nerves because he always got a fucking win. Like, fuck you, Bugs Bunny. Like, somebody gonna kill you. Like, somebody gonna fuck you up. You know, I don't want to say that, but somebody gonna fuck you up. You know, somebody gonna fuck you up, because that ain't how I roll out here, you know. So that's my whole thing. It's like, I just would like I mean, I don't know. It was just something about PBS, because you had the Letter People, you had Sesame Street, you had Mr. Rogers, you had Reading Rainbow. Then you also had what was it? It was like the Connection, the something Connection. Then you had the King, you had the Lamb or whatever, the Lamb Chop. It was like just a lot of stuff, and all they talk about is just learning shit, just like learning. I love words and stuff like that. Like, even my series, I know it's based on Sesame Street. Like, that was what I thought of. It's like when I put the two silhouettes together, I'm thinking cut. You see what I'm saying? Like, because it's like those two faces, and they like speak out to each other, whatever, and say the word. You're like, yes, that is the shit right there. So I used to love, oh my God. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Man, that ball be rolling. You would have thought it was like the first time I ever seen a damn ball roll on TV. I love that part. I mean, it's just like every different part had its own thing for me, like its own flavor for me. You know, like it was just like exciting for me as a kid to just like watch that stuff like all the time. So, oh man, they be asking questions and telling you stuff. I'm telling you, man, when Mr. Rogers did that whole crayon thing, or then they went to the farm, oh man, I was just like, what kind of shit? This what people do? That's what machines do? So it's like, you know, just, that's why I always say, like, I tell people what influenced me in the culture, so then now you could be like, you do the same thing, because some kid might be like so fucking into finance. And that was the best thing about what 21 Savage was saying. It's like, yeah, he came out with that whole thing about financing or whatever, and how he was gonna teach kids about money. Every kid ain't gonna be excited about money. Some kid, like my son, just naturally save. Like, that's just his thing. Like, he just do it. He don't care. And then it'll be like, well, okay, well, if you got to use your money, that's when he'll make the decision. Okay, I'm gonna use it. I'm not gonna use it. He just naturally does. Like, it's just like, that's him. Me, I be like, I gotta invest. I gotta get art materials. I gotta get this. I gotta get that. And he just like, nah, I just want Robux. I'm cool. I want Robux. And the stuff he think about, like, even though he had a little business or whatever, he ain't really done nothing with his business or whatever. I try to motivate him to do the business, and he just like, nah, whatever, I'm cool, you know, because he wanted a donut shop. So I took him to do the donut thing. Anyway, what I'm saying is like, your kids will have different interests, and I don't want to place my interest onto his interest. You see, like, it's like, okay, well, he wanted a donut shop, so I bought him little eraser donuts. He said nobody really want them, so it's okay. So that's his whole thing. It's like, okay, they hear it, but nobody wants them, mama. So it's like, now he can decide what he wants to do with what he has. So that's his whole thing. It's like, you know, and it'll be like, I try to be like, well, you gotta, you know, if you want this, you gotta do this. If you want this, you gotta do that. It's not enough motivation for him, because that's not where he wants to go with it. Like, that's probably just not his thing. And if it's not his thing, I'm okay with that. So anyway, I get to this part or whatever, because I say all this to get to this part. Yesterday, I learned so many things that people do with books. And I guess this would be something I want to do, because I like to build and all this different stuff. These people go out and they make these book boxes, and they make these book boxes where kids can go in and pick out books. And I thought about this, like making the little book tree houses. I seen those, but this one, they fill up the whole, like it's a whole box, like it's a whole, just like you walk in and it's just a bookshelf of books. If you think about the kids that love books, and like all the books that we could share, because it's like so many books out here, and sometimes they have to go to that one place, man, what's that one place? And they give the books they don't want away for free, like the half price books, which is something that's awesome that they do for schools. And it's like me, I like to get the books inside the school so the kids have a chance to look at them. Also, I like to just stand and read books randomly in a day. I mean, I just like having the books there, so I can just be like, okay, well, how does this book relate? Sometimes it's just because the cover is cute and I just want to read the book. and since I've been illustrating, it's like now I'm so into illustrators and like what they drawing and stuff, because it was hard for me the first time, because I just knew I wanted to make books. Like when I just did my book challenge, I knew I wanted to make books, but I was going back and forth to work and thinking too much. And so when I got a chance to sit down, it's like, oh, but you are a graphic designer. Like, that's your first job. Like, that's the first shit that you've done, sister. You a graphic designer. So it's like, okay, well, now how do I graphically design this? And I haven't had the equipment, for a long time. So whatever. But now I got the equipment, and now I'm doing it as graphic design. And now I got to figure out how to like now get the book done, because I tried one book, it's awful. So anyway, we'll put it on the computer. I don't think the book is awful. I think put it on the computer is awful. So anyway, all this to say that when I saw LeVar Burton on TV, it's like he was just a superstar to me. Like, could nobody in my life top LeVar Burton? I know I talk about Mr. Rogers because of the cardigans, because I really do love cardigans. I fucking do. I mean, I cannot lie. But LeVar Burton, it wasn't on all the time. Like, it'll be a certain time you catch it. So it's like I couldn't catch Reading Rainbow all the time. Like, I had to be out, like, not want to go outside or whatever after school or whatever to see it. So it's just like that whole thing of just, man, he would just talk about books. It would just like be books, and then he'll do a little story, then he'll read the story, and his voice was just awesomely just enunciation and proper, and he wasn't overly like different, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like still black. I don't know what it is, because people, because I have been accused of this too, of being too white, but I don't know, it's like he was still himself. That's what I'm saying. He was himself. It wasn't like he was pretending like he was somebody that he wasn't. He was just like himself. So that was like a good thing too. It wasn't like something that was personified or felt like it was fake. It was real, that the way he talked about these books. So the other thing is like we had a bookmobile. So our bookmobile, it didn't have because back then we used to have these radiators in school, and you could smell the heat off the radiator. Like, you could smell like the burned smell of it, and the wood floors in the school. So like when the floor got waxed, and when you come in and it's like from the snow, as soon as you get in there, that wax hit your nose, and then so does that the radiator smell, because the school had the radiator. So anyway, when you get on the bookmobile smell like burnt heat, like when you first turn the heater on, because I guess it was like they had it hooked up to a system, I don't know, but it's like when you first turn the heat on, and maybe you had a little piece of hair or something there, or a carpet or whatever, it's like the fibers burning, but it would be like super warm. And I remember winters, because like in Illinois, your winter, it starts in like September, October, and it'll go through to almost March. So like that's most of September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So that's like 6 months. Like, that's like half our year sort of. It's like cold fall, because we get fall and winter. So anyway, so you go on a bookmobile, and man, I would be looking for the books that LeVar Burton say. And by gosh, man, if I had that what you call it, the Denzel Washington meme, it's like, man, by God, I mean, it would have all the books. Like, it'd have every book that let me not say every, almost all the books that LeVar Burton would suggest on Reading Rainbow. So I got to read the books, check out the books, feel the books, look at the books, see them or whatever. I knew then I wanted to be a writer. I don't know why I didn't become a writer, but I knew then I wanted to become a writer. Like, it was like we had this chance to write a story at school about just a story that would be published into a book. Man, I tried my best. I think I was in second grade. All I kept thinking about was like just trying to write the book. That's it. Just write the book. Just write the book. Just write the book. And that was it. I just kept trying to write the book. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, that's it. Like, I just feel like LeVar Burton is like one of those people where you just like, okay, this is dope, right?